and welcome.
If you're new around here, you might be asking yourself, what is Sneakbike?
Well, we won't dig into the lore of the name right now. We're always happy to tell you more about who we are and what we do.
Our main goal is to build a community through retro gaming.
And we believe in creating a safe space where we lift each other up along the way.
We're all about learning new things.
Stepping outside of our comfort zones.
And serving up some friendly, casual competition.
Whoever you are, whatever your background, we'd love to hang and play some games together.
So come on by, sign up for a race or cheer on our racers, and show us what you've got.
Stay sneaky, friends.
Hello, Sneak Squad and Sidekicks. Hope you all are living your best lives and ready for some sneaky fun today. My name is Kia, double O me. Alongside me here, we have Old King Cake, your commentators for today, ready to deliver both the sneak and the bike. If this is your first time joining us, you came in at the perfect time because today we have our first two elimination matches for our SneakBattle Royale tournament. Our racers will race one retro game from a bygone era, and they are not aware of the game ahead of time, hence the hashtag sneak. But this is different from our normal mystery race. We have our racers sorted into brackets, and the winners of today's match will move on to the next round of the tournament. For more information, use !tourney in chat. But most importantly, our main goal here is to build community through retro gaming, and we couldn't do that without each and every one of you, so thank you so much for joining us today. On that note, let's go ahead and introduce our racers.
All right, what's up, gamers? It's a lovely Sunday afternoon, and we're going to have some sneak battle fun. We have our first two racers coming from the beginner bracket in their elimination round. We have Copperwing SJJ, who streams Switch games and Pokemon, and their favorite colors are pink, green, and other autumnal colors. And we also have Distracted, and they have done streaming before in the past, but their favorite color are purples and blues. We have a couple other people to shout out today other than just our racers and our lovely commentators who you're hearing right now. We have Cosmocordia on the helm as our producer. Jen the Human has been helping us with our social media today. We'd also like to thank Bears and Beats, friend of the channel, for this beautiful overlay we're using today, and Cowabunga and Dexter Chaco for the stinger that you just saw. And for our mods, we'd like to thank all the mods we have in chat. We have So Call Me Nothing, we got Cause, helping us keep moderation over the chat today. And I want a big thank you to everyone who keeps the gears running here at SneakBike. With that, I think it's time we can get our SneakBike a-rollin'.
All right, racers, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, race beginning.
All right, and our first race today features the adventures of Lolo from the NES. Their objective for this one is to clear floor 3, which is level 15.
So how much do you know about the game? I believe you were the game picker this week?
Yes, I was the game picker. I did play this game as a child. Didn't get too far in it, but just the puzzle aspect of it, I remembered, from when I was a child, and just really enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different vibe, I think, than what we've kind of seen in SneakBike traditionally in the past, which I think is really interesting since we're starting our tournament today.
Yeah, so the lore behind this one, the little blue ball that you see walking around, that's Lolo, and Lolo is trying to save Princess Lala, who was
right.
who was kidnapped by the evil King Edgar.
I think my favorite part about these old retro games, and I think you'll probably agree, is that the names are just, you can imagine just a boardroom of businessmen sitting there and they're like, all right, we have these semblance of pixels that we're gonna try and make games around. What are their names? And someone was just like Lolo, Lala, Egger.
And that made perfect sense to everyone.
Yeah, and everyone was like, done. Here's the money. Here's the funding. So we're seeing Copper take a bit of an early lead. Now, here's the thing. In my playtesting, I don't know about you, but in my playtesting, this was the first level that really got me to go like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, so the different enemies that you see on screen, you saw Copper just push or just turn that snake into like a little egg thing. The snake is actually a harmless enemy. You can run into it and it doesn't do anything. These pink guys over on Distracted, they actually don't wake up until you collect all of the hearts on the stage. Actually, I probably should have prefaced with how they go about completing each stage. To complete the stage, you collect all of the different heart frames, I think is what they're called, and then that opens up the treasure chest. And then once you collect the gem from the treasure chest, all the enemies disappear and you can go through the door to the next level.
I think it's a really interesting mechanic, because I feel like it's something that you don't necessarily think about like immediately as soon as the game turns on, but it's very like, the puzzles are very intuitive. Like once you start kind of getting it together, I feel like you start going like, oh, I like right now we're seeing Copper is kind of dealing with the same problem that a lot of new players I think are going to have, to where what you want to try and do is get this green guy on the left here who's chasing you, little wiggly guy over here, to stop in a way that you can go around them. Because as soon as he gives you a kiss on the cheek, he will go straight to bed.
Correct. Yeah. He's a tricky one where as soon as he, like you said, kisses you on the cheek, he goes to sleep and doesn't move, for the rest of, until you either reset the stage or until you beat it. He just goes to bed.
He just goes straight to sleep. And I dig the idea that the game kind of gives you all of everything that's going on the screen is what's going on the screen, right? So you have all the time in the world to kind of figure out, okay, like what am I trying to do? What's my goal? What's in my way? And it isn't until you have unlocked the treasure chest to get to the next part where things start happening. Like minions start moving, things start attacking you, things like that.
Right.
And we're seeing, and another interesting point too is that the only buttons that you really end up using is the A button will shoot your little egg thing, and the select button uses one of your lives. So if you find yourself stuck, if you've kissed him on the cheek in a small corridor, you just have to restart.
Yeah, and one of the things that I like about these first beginning stages, they basically show you what's going on with each of the different enemies that you're going to have to face.
Yeah.
Those skulls that Copper just got stuck on, they don't come alive until you've gotten all the hearts, just like those other pink guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice here, Copper did just game over and Distracted did just game over. They are allowed to use their continues, and it takes them right back to the level that they just were. So they'll have a lot of trial and error, but it's okay because the lives, for whatever reason, are pretty much meaningless.
Which I dig as a idea from the developers. You can tell they looked at it and they were like, you know what? Like we could make this super, super punishing and like really, really hard. We could not have unlimited continues. We could have like game over screens all the time, but it would just be less fun. Like it would just suck. Whereas This is just like a nice, fun puzzle game. Like you say, you can just sit there and just keep trying and be creative.
And there's Copper finishing that stage.
Copper's carving out a nice lead for herself here, but it's still very close. And as I say that, I've commented her cursor getting caught.
Yeah, those stone little walker thingies, they are an interesting enemy. As soon as they see, they just start walking right at you, and they will block you off. They will make it so you can't go anywhere.
It's almost like a precursor to like, and it's obviously this is a Nintendo game. It's made by a second party developer, right? but it's interesting to see the kind of precursor to a lot of other characters we'll see in like later Nintendo games. Like these have a similar mechanics to Boo's, and you'll see other minions will have kind of similar, that kind of Nintendo-y feel.
Right, and on that note of kind of the developer talk, you may recognize some of these characters from another popular game made by HAL Laboratory. They actually appeared in the Kirby franchise as Lolo and La 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 in Kirby's Dream Land, Superstar, and Avalanche.
And the interesting part too is that they're your homies, they're your friends in Kirby's Dream Land, and they're your enemies in Kirby Superstar. They pop up as little baddies.
Right.
Which I don't know, I don't see coming. If you're just looking at these sweet young balls, sentence. I feel like you wouldn't assume such a devilish nature out of them.
All right, Copper is taking a bit of a lead. Distracted, they have not quite realized how to get those last couple heart frames on the right side there. Not really knowing how to push around those emerald blocks properly.
And I will say, it's not. This puzzle, I think, is not the most intuitive thing in the world. Like the idea that you can beat the skull by just shooting it twice with the egg situation. This is kind of the level where you learn that that's a thing. I feel like if you haven't learned it already, you have to learn it to solve this puzzle. But it is not necessarily the most intuitive thing in the world. Right.
Yeah. I mean, so and they don't always have those little beam shots either. Every once in a while, a specific heart frames will give you different power-ups sometimes. In this case, one of the heart power-ups lets you get that weapon to shoot the enemies. And if you actually shoot the enemy a second time after they get encapsulated in that egg, is when they get knocked off the screen.
And I think it's interesting too, it's interesting to see these old puzzle games and to see kind of how they're teaching the players to play, right? Like nowadays, if you pick up a puzzle game, either it'll have like one core feature that kind of doesn't change much, or
and they're Distracted just got it
in beautiful form as well. Like it's interesting to see kind of how the players. I love when we do puzzle games on SneakBike, because you can literally see the gears turning. Like you can see the players figuring out the puzzle.
And now let's see if Distracted nope is just going to go straight for it. So the other emerald blocks that are around there, they're supposed to be there to kind of block off the skulls so they don't come at you once you get all the heart frames. But nope, they're going to start chasing them again, and now they got to dodge the skulls. Look out.
Oh. That was a control error, certainly. Distracted is a primo puzzle gamer, so I would not assume that they would be anything other than a controller error on that one. We've all done it. Everyone's been in the middle of a tense SneakBike puzzle race and has pressed it down instead of side.
All right, and on the other side, Copper, they are in a stage where you get another ability. And that's kind of like a hammer type deal, to where you can break one of those stone blocks. Now they used it incorrectly their first go around on this stage. Let's see if they use it properly this time. Yep, they did.
And then that gives you the eggs to get rid of Snaky Jeff.
Correct.
I see what's going on here. I see what's happening here. Copper really is figuring this out in a long way.
Copper flying through this. Distracted now that level is over. I think we'll be able to catch up. This one on Copper's side is another one that took me a few tries to do.
Some of the puzzles are deceptively challenging, and not for the least of it because of the, we'll say, primitive NES hardware that that our racers are working with today. Some of these hitboxes are not, they're sus, to put it in the best way possible. They are questionable at best sometimes. Oh. Poor Distracted.
Getting squished.
I can't say I would do any better, to be honest with you. Every time I do commentary on puzzle games, I'm like, I would be doing so much worse than this. And so Copper is in a bit of a sticky wicket here.
Yeah, has all those enemies trying to get at her.
No eggs, no no eggs, no hammers. Just a ball and a dream. Oh.
Gets cornered.
So again, it's interesting to see kind of the different ways we're seeing the players deal with the situations, because if you look at Copper's screen, Copper is kind of flying through it, whereas Distracted seems to be kind of getting stuck on, I'll say, like the movement and nitty gritty. But they do get past up into floor 2.
Yeah, they just finished floor 1, moving on to floor 2, so moving right along.
Moving and grooving, I will say. Speaking of moving and grooving, I don't know if you looked into this at all, but if you look at speedrun.com, the world record for this game from start to finish is only 22 minutes.
Wow, that's super quick. I did not research that part before coming in here.
If there's one thing that I like to bring, it's who is the most twitchy and competitive person in the world at doing it. So shoutouts to Ryo for 22 minutes and 20 seconds. I was watching the speedrun a little bit, and it's really interesting to see, and we're not quite seeing it from our racers as much, but it's interesting to see how the world record uses the blocks to block off enemies. Like you were saying, with how you can use the blocks to kind of change where the enemies end up going.
Right.
It's really interesting to see how the world record holder does it, because
Copper here is getting ready to push this emerald block to block off some of the enemies.
Thinking like multiple steps ahead, which I think is really important in a game like this. Okay, so we've got the block. Ooh. Close though. I'm a fan of the strategy. Again, I like seeing the players learning and thinking as they go.
Yeah, they'll definitely come up with strategies, and like Distracted here, just figuring out, where they need to move the blocks in order to not get shot by the Medusas.
Yeah. And it's interesting too that Distracted's solution to this room is actually slightly different than Copper's solution to this room. So it's just a strength of the game, showing the different solutions you can do. So let me ask you, Kia, how did you find out about this game? Like, I know you are a retro gamer savant, but
it was just one of the games that we had as when I was a kid. I mean, I didn't really get to choose what games came into our household. As a child. This was one of them.
That's the best kind of game, I think, when you look back at it and you're like, I have nostalgia for this game, but I don't necessarily have good nostalgia. I have neutral nostalgia for this video game.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed playing it. As a Copper.
That was almost the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life. Copper went just full to the wall, ready to go, zooming through the stage, just trying to run past them, using enemies to block other enemies. This is exciting.
Yeah, like so one of the things that Copper could do here, and when I was replaying through it, now as a how old am I? I'm 35 years old, I think. Now as a 35-year-old, I pushed the snake up towards the top to where that skull is blocking off that armadillo, so that when I collected the last heart frame, they couldn't do anything.
I was just thinking that too. I thought that was maybe the strategy to go for, but it seems that Copper. I respect the stubbornness, I will say, because Copper has done roughly the same thing, maybe 10 times in a row.
Right.
And it's done slightly better or slightly worse for each time. But I respect the hustle. Distracted getting to the next level. Distracted is really kind of slow and steady winning the race here.
And Copper pushing the armadillo into the grass, and that was not the right move.
But the experimentation is there. The thought process is there. The creativity is there.
All right, what are you gonna do with this hammer? No, just
wrong
one.
This level, I don't know if I like this level, because this level is so punishing. Like, literally, if you just don't if you don't use the hammer on like the 1 or 2 blocks you can use it on, it's just a GG. That's rough, man. Old games don't screw around.
But this one is a little bit more forgiving, being as it just puts you right back at the beginning of the stage.
Yeah, true. And the infinite lives definitely helps as well. Yeah, you're right. And we're seeing, the gears turning. Oh, gets it. Beautiful.
And now gets the shots to shoot the snake. There you go.
Phenomenal
Boom.
scenes. Oh my God. Is Distracted caught up now?
And I think that catches him up. Yep.
Absolutely phenomenal. Anything can happen here at SneakBattle Royale.
The great equalizer.
The
This
great
level.
equalizer is the adventures of Lolo at the end of stage 2. This game is the great equalizer. So we're seeing Distracted starting to figure it out. Ooh, gets caught by the armadillo.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how quickly Distracted figures out and learns everything that Copper already has with this stage.
Right. It'll be interesting to see how fast that they can catch up, since they spent a little bit more time, I'll say, probably learning the mechanics in the earlier levels. Copper going for some interesting strategies here, pushing the snake onto the grass. The snake does look happier to be on the grass, though. So
does,
why
yeah.
people happy in chat if I can get one?
Got that little happy face there.
If I can get some smiley faces in chat, that'll make my day, much like I believe it'll make this snake's day.
All right, Copper, you can do it. Push that emerald block to block the skull. No.
Not quite. And it's important to say, I think, at this point, that while we're commentators and we're sitting here and watching them kind of figure out the puzzles, there is nothing more frustrating than being in a race and not being able to figure something out. Like because you get in that headspace of like, I've tried this, I've tried that, like, what am I supposed to do? This is like, you get frustrated, and when you get frustrated, it gets harder to think.
Okay. Oh, Distracted almost had it, almost blocking one of the skulls with the snake. Didn't quite push the snake far enough, but I think is starting to really figure this out.
The gears are definitely churning for both of our competitors. Copper, I'm interested to see if this works, to be honest with you, because I feel like Copper has been very close to this working a few times.
Distracted doesn't know what to do once they get that power up to change that one directional panel.
Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. I'm like fascinated trying to watch them at work, trying to see the different, again, just the different strategies at play. Copper just kind of eking her way out, trying to find her opportunity.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, gets cornered. Okay, Distracted did figure out the one-way panel, but now they're stuck.
So, but that is a huge, I feel like figuring out the little pieces is really the thing that will get them to the full picture, if that makes sense. I think the fact that I feel like, I don't know, see, it's interesting because I don't know who's going to win this. I feel like if you asked me three, even 2 to 3 minutes ago, I would have said Copper free, because Copper was just solidly far ahead. And then Distracted is caught up, and now we're seeing a very even playing field in terms of the strategies at work. Copper
just wants to make a run for it. Copper's just like, I'm going.
Copper is my hero. I will say it. I'll say it up and down. She has a strategy, and she is going to make it work by hook or by crook. Oh, and perfect frame, perfect same time game overs. You love to see it. So we're all starting back at the same level. This is beautiful. This is like a Renaissance painting that we're watching. And if you guys are watching at home, if you're having fun, if you're enjoying this neck and neck speedrun action, or if you're looking at this and you're going like, I could do this. Look how easy the solution to this puzzle is. Why don't you hit that exclamation point Discord? Maybe just sign yourself up for a race. The SneakBattle Royale is going on right now, the tournament to decide who is the sneakiest and the bikiest. But back to regular Sneakbike action, I believe near the end of the month.
I actually think we're going to be going back to some regular mystery races next weekend.
Oh, would you look at that? Oh, see, okay, so
Okay.
Distracted almost had it. Shot the snake, did kill the snake, which I think is not necessarily the angle we're angling for. But it's there. Oh, Copper did floor 2. Wait a minute.
There it is. I didn't even
Goodness
see
gracious,
it. I missed
curiosity.
it.
Me neither.
I was
Oh,
watching
man.
Distracted side.
Me too. We were distracted by Distracted. Thank you, God. And an immediate death. You love to see it. I feel like there's nothing funnier than watching a puzzle game where someone finally solves a puzzle after like multiple attempts, and then immediately gets shot.
This is another level that I predict might trip him up for a little while. Those Medusas are deadly to say the least.
They don't miss is the thing. They just do not miss. And we're seeing a new power-up. They have a bridge power-up this time around. Copper moving as just slow and carefully as a human being possibly can. So we're seeing Distracted. It unfortunately takes another death there. I'm confident that Distracted will figure this out, though.
Yes, Distracted will get this. It'll take a little bit of time, but you know these next few levels coming up, they are the equalizers.
They are the equalizers. And also important to mention, the goal for this race, we're doing the one game for our beginner bracket today. The goal for this race is just to clear floor 3, which Copper is currently on floor 3, Distracted at the end of floor 2. So it's still really anyone's game here.
Right, yeah. Distracted. So there's 5 levels on each floor. Copper is on the first floor, or the first stage of floor 3, and Distracted the last stage of floor 2.
3-1, 4-4, if you will. Or 4-5. Okay, so again, I wish we had comms at this point. I just wish I would love nothing more than to hear what is going on in our competitors' heads.
Yeah, just to. Okay, Copper. Okay, very good, very good.
Ooh, Copper is figuring it out. Not getting shot by the Medusa once again, which we love to see.
Although not quite the right strategy, but they're learning again. The strategy here is to get that one down in the bottom right corner last.
Interesting. Oh yeah, because then you can just make a mad haberdashery till they exit.
Correct.
Of course.
Because right now, if they pick up either one of those heart frames,
the skull man will absolutely
the
wreck
skull
their
will.
shop.
Right.
They will beat Copper down like she owes them money, and taking a restart there. Interesting enough. Noticing that she's not quite got the right strategy and just taking the restart, which I respect.
Sometimes you just gotta restart.
Sometimes you just gotta look at yourself in the mirror and go, you know what? I don't know if I'm getting this right now. Let me give that another shot. Speaking of another shot, I'm interested to see if Distracted will start trying a new strategy faster than Copperwing did. Because I feel like Copper was again, as we said, kind of just, this is the strategy I'm doing, this is gonna work, and eventually it did.
Okay, Copper's starting to move those emerald blocks across the bridge. Very good.
Okay, now
there it is.
Oh, and she doesn't pick up the bottom right. Interesting. It's like she heard us through the ether.
Here we go.
And then you use this block to block off the bridge so the Skellingmans can't get you.
Not quite, because if you pick up the gem on the treasure chest,
right,
that Medusa will shoot you through that tree.
Oh, nosy Miss Mosey. Will Copper figure that out? Oh God, I would have died and I would have tilted out of my brain.
Oh, and there it is.
Holy heck in a basket. Goodness gracious. Copper is smarter than I will ever be. That's insane.
Very nice,
wrinkles,
Copper.
The wrinkles in her brain are insane.
Now this level that Copper is now on is if they look at their README, I put something specific in the README about this stage.
This stage is so treacherous. You specifically gave them a hint about this one stage.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
I remembered as a child not being able to complete this stage, and so I had to make sure I put something in it.
This game definitely feels like a please mom buy me the Nintendo Power kind of game. Okay, so what are we looking for on Copper's screen here?
So on Copper's screen, you got to get that first heart so that you can get your little magic shots.
Right.
Then you can push that egg into the water and then stand on the egg.
A little Bridgington situation.
Right, so the egg will actually float around the water.
Oh, and it won't hatch.
Correct.
Interesting.
Copper blocking it off.
The shadow.
Wow.
I love it.
but that's perfectly fine because they have the snake that they can use to float across.
That is true. Jeff the Snake is there. I believe you can also do it to the skull, no?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, any of the enemies, but you see Copper, looking around. Okay, how do I get this last heart frame?
Now it'll be interesting to see. Oh my God, Jesus! As we're about to say it, Copper with the wrinkliest, crinkliest brain I've ever seen in my life. I want to say that I am in the intermediate bracket for this tournament. Oh, it stinks!
Oh no!
God!
But they learned.
They did, yes.
And that's what these games are about. Every death you have to learn something. If you haven't learned anything, then it hasn't been for anything.
I will say I am listed as an intermediate in this tournament, and I think Copper would beat the absolute brakes off me in this tournament, just by proxy of how masterfully she has worked this puzzle game.
And boom, Copper gets that heart from the middle and gets back across. Now they have to worry about the skull.
So now here's the problem: is that she's gonna get that heart, and those skulls are gonna come igga-gigging up down her door, and that's a problem. And that's a game over. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our old friend Distracted. Distracted is just chugging along, and there's something to be said about continuing to go, right? Like, again, especially in these puzzle games, it can get so hard because you get so frustrated. And I don't know, Kia, if you're a tilter, but I'm a huge tilter. So when something like this happens in a game like this, I'm just like, get me out of here. Like, I don't want to exist anymore. People are watching me. I'm done. I give up.
I have been known to tilt, but when I do, I always I'll take a breath, and I might have to pause for a second or two. You just gotta get back on it. Get back on that horse.
Get back on that horse, or get back on that snake, as we see. Oh, Copper. Those skulls, they are whipping at an insane amount of time, at an insane pace. Those skulls, they wake up from their long winter's nap and they're just ready to rumble, and that's respectable. So we're seeing, it's, again, I respect the brain of Copper. Copper is figuring these things out, and I respect that she'll figure out like most of the puzzle, and then she'll be like, all right, cool. And then she just kind of mashes her face against it until she figures it out. And I respect that because it's way farther than I could ever possibly get.
Yeah, and Cassie mentions in chat that on Distracted Screen, it is possible to block off every skull before they even collect the final heart frame. So they don't even need to worry about stuff racing after them.
Absolutely. But again, I think it shows to the showmanship of both of these racers to where they are here to give us a show. Like, they are here to keep the chat entertained by letting us sit here and jabber on about the various stratagems that could possibly be going on.
Oh, there you go. Copper getting those other frames first. Ooh, but takes the death to. I don't even know. Is that an armadillo? I'm gonna call it an armadillo.
I'm cool with calling it an armadillo. I dig what Copper is going for here because she's realizing she has 2 of the magic shots. So what she's doing is she's freezing him, going around, getting the other heart pieces, and it seems that she's positing that the easiest solution will be waiting and going into the middle afterwards, rather than going into the middle immediately and getting the heart frame by the skull. So now, wait, what? She hit select, right?
Yeah, I think she just hit select there.
I keep forgetting that happens, and I'm just like, what NES tomfoolery has gone on here? Because I think it's also important to point out that if anyone's watching the chat and wondering about this game, there is definitely a good amount of NES tomfoolery.
Okay, Copper blocking off the one skull.
Will she bop this skull is my question. Because I think that will be her key to victory if she can figure out that she can bop the skull. She does go for Snaky Jeff. But I don't think it'll.
And there it is.
There it is. Well done to Copper. All right, and Distracted is by inches is getting there. Oh. You hate to see it. 2 missed shots.
All right, we got the sleepy boys again.
Oh no, and some NES tomfoolery there. Copper going for the immediate sacrifice. It's interesting to see that Copper is also getting a lot faster as she's going. Copper started out kind of slow and methodical.
Yep. Just blocked herself off.
But she's getting a lot faster. Like not only with her movements, but also with her being able to realize like, oh, this one's over. Next, like try again. All right, Distracted.
Just keep pushing that block up. Just keep pushing. Oh.
I believe in you, Distracted. For Narnia, for freedom, for Scotland. I have never been more invested in my life in a game of Adventures of Lolo for the NES. My real question is when does Lolo and Lala get into Super Smash Brothers? That's my question, because HAL Laboratories not only made Kirby, but also did make Super Smash Brothers. Oh my God! Go!
Go!
Yeah!
There we go. Distracted. Moving on.
I've never been. That was such legitimate excitement. Congratulations! Goodness gracious!
Just became a race.
Holy hell! Copper making it to, I believe, 3-4, so getting close to the finale. Distracted is now on our many Medusas level. There's something unsettling about this character just staring at the screen while Copper figures it out. Copper's working through it, and Lolo is just like, hey man. Hey, are we getting anywhere? What are we doing? I mean, this looks pretty simple, no? I feel like you just grab the things, and then you just push it into the skelly, and you go grab the chest. I don't know.
It's just that simple.
This level feels way too easy for its position in the game.
I agree.
Goodness gracious, are you kidding me?
I wholeheartedly agree.
That is preposterous.
And I believe this is the final level.
I believe so as well. I think she is in fact on 3-5. Coming up to the end of the race, Distracted. Oh! Just a little slow on the get up from these wicked Medusa shots. All right. So from what I understand, once all the heart frames are picked up here, the dragons will start spitting hot fire.
This is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but it's on a timer. So this also seems much easier than even the level Distracted is on currently.
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like, yeah, you can just bink and then bop. Ooh, I see. Okay, I'm with you. Still though, if we can can we get a Sakurai? Can we get a balance patch, please? For the love of God.
All right, Distracted, pushing the emerald blocks around.
Distracted figuring this out at a lightning pace, I will say.
But still being very cautious, which I agree is definitely the way to go.
Right. I completely agree. I think especially again when you're in a game like this where you're no doubt tilted out of your skull at some of these insane puzzles, to take it slow is to take it smart, in my opinion. So we're seeing Copper. Goodness gracious, Glorioski, that was terrifying. The amount of fire on screen did the NES thing where it stopped existing, and that's how I know that this game is not here to play.
Our Distracted just needs that last emerald block.
And I will say, Distracted is figuring this puzzle out, I think, a little bit faster than Copper did. So if Copper can keep getting hit with fireballs, please and thank you, we might have a neck-and-neck race by the end of it. Although Copper does seem to be figuring it out. Copper also going pretty cautiously, though.
I think Copper has it right here. That's the strat that I used. I got every heart, but that bottom right one. Yep. And that's it.
There it is. Copper Wing SJJ with our first win of the game. Can we get some hype, some claps, some ayayas, some Sneakbike GGs, some hypes? As many different emotes as you can possibly get for both of our good friends. I'll say Distracted once again did phenomenally, way better than I probably would have.
I mean, yeah, this is a tough game, and I was very pleased to see our runners, take to it very well.
Mm-hmm. I love seeing a good race. I love seeing a race where both individuals are just here, they're ready to party, they're trying their heart out. And that's exactly what we saw from both of our racers today. So congratulations to Copperwing for winning the first round and getting through elimination in our beginner's bracket.
GG's Copper. I think we'll let Distracted go a little bit further, see if they can figure out this level and another level or two.
I think that's the best place, because honestly, I think once Distracted, so this one's a bit of a tricky one, and the next one seemed like a bit of a
Let's see. After this one, it's the one where the sleepy boys are, right?
Yeah. So that one's a bit of a finesser, bit of a finagler. But then the other two are so free you could get them at Costco as a sample. So I don't know. I think
so
Distracted can get it.
Yeah, this is the difficult one, and then then the next couple are fairly easy.
Right. And once again, we see Distracted just going in head sure and strong into that good night, as they are just having a forehead fight with an armadillo, and I respect that kind of chutzpah, as it were.
Distracted.
Also just resigning to their death. I respect that as well, just resigning to a strong death. And we have Copper in the chat. Congratulations once again to Copper for being our first good friend of the day. If anyone is curious, by the way, we do have another race coming up right after this. We have our first race in the intermediate block, which is going to be between Flying Octopus 22 and Brennemania. So stick by for that. That'll be some more fun. But also, just stick by. Our good friend Distracted finally get through the level, because I'm invested personally.
Well, you're definitely invested in the next race because you are one of our intermediate runners.
I am indeed, and I'm here to talk an inordinate amount of smack to the other competitors in my bracket. If there's one thing that I get on commentary for, it's to stir as many pots as I humanly can without cause yelling at me. So that will be another good event to stick around for if you got the time. If not, thank you so much for joining us here on a lovely Sunday afternoon. So I think Distracted is starting to understand that you actually cannot kill our armadillo right at the beginning.
Yeah, they got to use one of those shots. Maybe they'll take a look at the readme and take a look at the hint that I gave. All right, we'll give Distracted 1 or 2 more deaths here, and they don't figure it out by then. We'll go ahead and wrap it up.
We will unfortunately have to do a mercy kill. I think maybe we go until the next game over. Does that seem fair? 4 more lives?
That seems fair.
I think that seems fair. It is interesting to see Lolo. Can we talk about this for a second? The design here, I think, is wonderful because again, it's the late 80s, like in 1989 when this game comes out, and it's literally like our main character is a ball with giant Sonic the Hedgehog eyes. All of our enemies are these cute little smiley boys and girls, and they're just sitting here, just like, hey man, hey, what's up? We're just here to hang out and be obstacles in your puzzle game. I feel like this game was probably a joy to work on.
Cover, except the skulls.
Even the skulls, look, they're smiling. They got a little bit of, dead man tells no tales about them. I respect that too. I like that. And we have
until they come alive.
Well, that's where they're telling no tales, And we have our classic NES water scene of 3 frames of of the background of a streamer's lights. Distracted is seeming to have a bit of trouble getting past this our wiggly armadillo friend. Oh. And just gonna throw them in. Oh.
Yep, that was an accidental push of the emerald block.
You know what? I'm gonna complain for Distracted. The controller just wasn't working. The game just, wasn't cooperating. I want to redo. I want to recount on Distracted's behalf, personally. All right.
Yep. Let's go ahead and wrap things up. We'll be taking a brief intermission. We'll let Distracted know what's going on, and we will see you guys in just a few minutes for our intermediate race. All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to get started on our intermediate race. Old King Cake, if you want to introduce our two runners.
I would absolutely love it. Welcome back, gamers, to Sneakbike Battle Royale. We're doing our intermediate bracket, our first elimination round, and today we've got Flying Octopus 22 versus Brennemania, and I'm here to tell you that Octopus has done streaming before, and his favorite color is Papaya Whip. Don't Google it, it's an upsetting color. Brennemania recently has been streaming a lot of Hollow Knight and Dark Souls on his Twitch, and his favorite color is green. We once again want to give a clean shout out to our producer, Cosmocordia, Jen the Human as our social media manager, Bears for the new beautiful overlay we used today, and Cowabunga and Dexter Chaco for that new stinger transition that you saw just before we showed our racers greens. We also want to thank the mod team and everyone else who keeps the gears running nice and oily and not squeaky here on our Sneakbike Battle Royale. And I think with all that, I think it's a good time to get the racers going.
Yeah, I think it's time to get started. Racers, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, and for the intermediate race today, we have the Lost Vikings, and their goal in this game is to beat level 8.
You have chosen an absolute doozy of a sneak bike race today. I don't think I could do this. I said this for the last game, and I don't want to sound like a quitter, but I do not think I could do this. Also, just real quick before we get too deep into our hashtag action for the day, I do want to let everyone know we're going to be running a quick little predictione with channel points. So if you would like to participate in that, you can bet on who you think is going to win, and I will not in any way try and what's the word I'm looking for? Influence the results of the race. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. We have 3 Viking friends.
Yeah, so they've been captured by I'm sorry, the Lost Vikings. The player controls 3 separate Vikings with different abilities. Eric the Swift, Balog the Fierce, and Olaf the Stout, and they were kidnapped by an alien race. Kidnapped by Tomater, the emperor of the alien Croutonian Empire. And they want these Vikings for their intergalactic zoo.
Okay. Yeah, man, for sure. Hey, can I just say I love retro video games. That is a whole scene of complete nonsense and haberdashery. I'm a huge fan. So we're seeing. So we have another puzzle game. Let's start with that. We have another puzzle game. This one, what you're gonna see, rather than our top-down small ball with Sonic eyes, we have 3 Viking friends, as you just said, with different specialty powers that we're trying to get to the exit of each level.
Right, and you have to use each Viking's different ability to basically help surpass each level.
Right.
As you see on Bren's screen, or they keep switching back and forth, but the person that they're controlling right now is Balog the Fierce, who has a sword and a bow and arrow. You've got Olaf the Stout with the shield, which can be put in front of him to block shots or raised above him to kind of help give a little boost. And in this, you do need to get each Viking to the exit together in order to pass the level. So if one Viking dies, you're basically going to have to restart the level.
Right. So very similar to our last game, you're going to see probably a lot of resets, especially when you get to some of the later levels, because I'll say it, some of the later levels are tricky, to say it politically. I'll say that they are tricky.
Right. So, and again, some more of the lore, between this is once they do escape the alien ship, the first few levels, they're still on the alien ship.
Mhm.
They get lost in different periods of time.
Right, of course.
Because how else do you expect, Vikings to, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but Vikings in time.
So an interesting part about this, we're getting through the beginning of the game. You're watching the players kind of figure it out. Like we said, they all have different kind of powers. The really, I'll say, frustrating thing about this game is that unlike in the previous game we just saw, instead of just having Lolo to deal with if he dies and you restart, now if one of your Vikings dies, you literally just have to reset. And if they touch like certain things, they'll just die and you will have to reset. Which I'll say might be mildly frustrating for some of our runners today.
But I mean, this one, like the other, it's a lot of learning about what you just did and just coming right back.
Right.
And I did give them the hint to read these hint tiles on each of the first few levels, because they will tell you a lot about what you're supposed to be doing in the game. So those question mark blocks that you see, you want to read those.
But as we all know, reading is also for nerds. That is a fact. So I understand entirely what's happening here. We're in a race, and let me tell you, if I was in this game, I would not read a single panel. I think even in the test run that I did, I read a max of 2 panels. Oh, and thank you, Copperwing, for giving Nightbot a sub. Hey, remember that if you're in stream today, if you're in the chat today, if you're having a good time, please feel free to give us a follow, a host, a share, and all those cool things. If you do plan on subbing, the proceeds from the tournament are going to be going to charity, if I remember correctly. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that confirmation. So it all goes to cause. And also, it's always fun to give Nightbot a sub, because then Nightbot can use the emotes we pre-programmed to use. God bless, God bless. Anyway, back to the game.
So they're controlling these 3 Vikings, trying to, get them each to the exit and to move on to the next stage. You see Flying Octopus using an anti-grav machine.
Yeah, man. This game is banana sandwich, and you know what's funny about it too? That I realized, I did a little bit of digging as I am wont to do. So this game was made by Silicon and Synapse, which for the learned gamers out there will know turns into Blizzard eventually.
Blizzard. This was made by Blizzard, basically.
This was basically made by the same people who make World of Warcraft, who make StarCraft, who make regular Warcraft, Warcraft Classic, Warcraft 0. And the funny thing about it is that these characters show up in every other Blizzard game as NPCs, and in Heroes of the Storm, for all of you ravenous Hero of the Storm fans out there, as a playable character.
Indeed, they do. It's it's a very fun kind of little thing. You see these characters as NPCs in WoW. Again, like you said, they're playable characters. They give reference to them at StarCraft. They kept these characters afloat.
Which, it's crazy, of all the video games that Blizzard made and could have kept afloat, it was Lost Vikings, the one that were like, this one will not die. Not this one, the one about spacefaring Vikings. This one stays. As we're seeing, I believe Octa was making it past... This is level 2, yes?
Yes, this is level 2. Bren is still working their way through. I think Bren still needs to find the bombs in order to blow up the computer.
It's interesting that there's it's almost like an old school adventure game. Like it's almost like it's got the logic of a point and click adventure game with the controls of a platformer. Which is both very cool, and I'm also incredibly grateful that they did not explore that combination further.
We just missed one of my favorite things with one of the characters, Eric the Swift, their special ability where they can run fast, um, but you can actually use his head to break down walls.
Yeah, for sure, of course. like we all do, you know. Everyone has run headfirst into a wall and had nothing bad happen to them, and in fact only
Exactly.
good things happen.
No, there's no such thing as concussions.
CTE, this is 1993. That doesn't exist yet. So, okay. Okay, let me see if I can get this straight. The Vikings have been kidnapped and put in space. So far, so good.
Yes, correct.
By aliens
Yes.
who want to put them on display in a zoo.
Yep.
And as they're running around this spaceship, the aliens are just kind of vibing out and not stopping them in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I mean, I think they're trying, but I mean, what good are aliens against Vikings?
Yeah, of course. You're so right. Aliens with their advanced technology could absolutely never stop 3 Vikings, only one of which has the capacity to jump. Between the 3 of them, they are one World of Warcraft character. One can jump, one has shield, one has sword. So what you'll also see as you go on, you'll notice that right up at the top there, all 3 of our character portraits have, using the human shield, have health dudes, little health dudes that you can see. And if they run out of health dudes, of course, as we all know by the real world, if you run out of health dudes, you die. And if any of their Viking friends die, they will have to start the level over again. So it's a high stakes situation anytime we see any of our friends in peril. And there's also fall damage, which I'll say, that's whack. Oh,
Octo.
No. Octo, no. What a game over screen. They literally give the character that died of Viking funeral and then he comes back on a lightning bolt.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's so good.
That is the most mid-90s thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Absolutely phenomenal scenes. All right, so we're seeing... It'll be interesting to see if Octo does this any faster than he just did.
I'm sure. I mean, it's this game. If you screw up once, you know, in a specific way, you're probably not going to do it again.
See, you say that, but I'll say if I was playing this game, I think I would easily make the same mistakes over and over and over again because I'm watching this. Like, I'm not even playing. I'm watching, and I have very little understanding of how they're figuring this out.
So what you're saying is for your race later this week, I need to choose the Lost Vikings 2.
Give me a puzzle game. I've said this since the beginning of my time here at Sneakbike. Give me a platformer. Give me a beat 'em up. I'm your man. Give me a puzzle game, and you will visibly see me rage through the screen.
Well, this one's sort of a platformer.
Do not give me Lost Vikings 2. I will cyberbully you. I will cyberbully you for as long as I know you. That being said, we're all friends here, and there was no cyberbullying involved in the production of Sneakbike. Ding! Yes, Mel, give me Balls 3D. For the love of God, that's all I've ever wanted in my life. So we're seeing, I believe, Octopus just made it, right? Or no, Bren just made it.
Yeah, Bren just made it, so they are now on the same level. Octo has a lot more knowledge right now.
Right.
But no, we are trucking along. Octo making sure they bring their shield along with them,
which is smart. I like that. That's learning. That's watching the system work.
And you see Octo now, this time, between all 9 damage that they can take, 3 for each of their Vikings, has only taken 1 damage on Eric.
Right. You know what's funny? So speaking of damage, I was watching, so I looked into this speedrun, because of course I did, the world record right now. There's only actually 2 runs of this game. So if anyone out there is watching, thinks, oh, this game looks kind of neat, I could learn the solutions and I could probably beat it. All you gotta do is beat it in less than 56 minutes and 20 seconds, and you will beat a German dude named Mike the V.
So you're telling me I could be top 5?
Absolutely, you could. You could not only could you be top 5, you could be top 3. Easy peasy. You could be top 3 today.
So Brent and Octo need to finish this run, and they will be 3 and 4.
Absolutely. Yep. If they finish this run and if we take this game, we cut it and we call it a speed run, boom. Top 3, Sneakbike, Brennemania, and or Flying Octopus, depending on who wins.
Sneakbike on the leaderboards.
That's what we gotta start doing. Now that right there, that's marketing. So what I was gonna say with by proxy of the speedrun thing is if you watch the speedrun, he switches between them at like such a pace, like he's just constantly switching between all three Vikings.
That's
like
interesting.
every step. So it's like it makes them all move basically at the same pace to get to the next puzzle, so that by the time you get to the next puzzle, all of them are there and you're all good to go.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's very cool to watch actually. So Octo's starting to figure this out, and so riddle me this, Batman. What's with the X and what's with the veggies?
Okay, so the veggies, you can eat them to regain some health. That X, it's actually like a super bomb type thing. It'll clear enemies on the stage. So, typically only, and I keep butchering this name because I don't know how to say it. Belog?
The Balrog from Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Yes. They're the only ones that has an actual weapon.
Right.
But some of the items that you can pick up are weapons as well, like that X.
Right. Do we know what the vegetables do, out of curiosity? Because I've noticed they've picked up some vegetables, and I tried using them, and I couldn't figure it out.
You can use them to regain health.
Of course, that's what the food does in an NES game. I'm stupid. All right, moving on.
I believe food, like just regular food, is 1 health. Then there are also steaks, which are 2 health points.
Right. If I've learned anything from playing video games, it's that steak is the absolute greatest food next to an entire chicken. If you can find an entire chicken, you'll just be good for like a while. Okie dokie. So they're actually neck and neck, which I find very interesting.
Oh yeah, they're just trudging right along.
They're both, as we've said before, they are both schmoovin' and groovin', which you love to see it.
But to continue on to the different items,
Right.
There's also a shield item which gives you a bonus health point. We've already seen some bombs. They used to blow up one of the computers in is either the first or second stage.
Oh.
There is the smart bomb, which was that X that destroys all the enemies on the screen. You've seen him pick up keys to open up doors. I think later in this level, we will see gravity boots.
Gravity boots. Okay. You can really tell that the original Blizzard team that made stuff like this just wanted to make really weird video games with their homies. You know what I mean? They sat in a room and they were like, what can we get done today? Let's get Vikings in space and give them gravity boots. So for the question of who's winning, they're very close. Currently, Octo is slightly ahead. They're on the same stage, although Octo has made it to the next screen of the stage. But Bren is actually literally right behind. Like, this is...
Yeah, Bren is right there. Although Octo taken the death there with
and
Olaf.
that's going to be a reset.
But I think they're going to continue to try and figure this out. See, you see the gravity boots right there, right above Flying Octo.
Right. So that's smart. That's actually a good point that I didn't think about. Rather than just instantly resetting, you can kind of keep, scoping out the situation, still try and figure out the puzzle, even if you have to restart. So when you get to that point, you won't necessarily take that kind of death again.
Exactly.
You can really see the inspiration for StarCraft and Warcraft 3 here. This is basically Dota. I've
Ooh, and
never
Brent-
played Dota for longer than 5 minutes, but I'm pretty sure this is what Dota is.
I mean, this is what it is.
Perfect. We're seeing another death on Bren. So it really is neck and neck. As you know, when one player gets ahead, the other one will fall behind, or they will, someone will die, and then it completely switches the feng shui of the matchup here. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see as the game progresses, who, if anyone, will take a firm lead.
Right. It'll be, one spot that might trip up someone, the first time, if the other person does not get tripped up by that same thing.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see too, as the game gets harder, if they will kind of switch up their strategies. Because so far you're seeing they have a pretty similar strategy of walking in with the shield with Olaf first, and then following up with the Balrog to deal any kind of damage they need to deal with, and then bringing in our Super Mario Viking to finish whatever puzzles are happening.
All right, so Octo got the gravity boots. Now they have to use the gravity boots. There you go. Oh, nope.
So the gravity boots have been used. What exactly do our gravity boots do?
So it allows them to walk in a gravitational field, but only with the Viking that used the gravity boots.
Right.
So Eric has to come over here, hit that button, which he just did, and now he turned off the gravity.
Oh, so now everyone can do the cha-cha slide all the way to the exit.
Correct.
Of course. Okay. This is a pretty intricate game for 93 as well. I'm actually really impressed with how much is kind of going on in
Oh yeah, I mean it's so much fun to just watch, because you have to use all three characters and use their abilities to what they're, good for. It looks like Bren is about to figure out the gravity boots, and Bren looks like they're about 30 seconds behind flying Octo getting off the alien spaceship.
And into literally probably the greatest cutscene I think anyone has ever made in their lives. I cannot think of a better cutscene in a video game in any year, let alone in the year that we are currently in, 1993. That was intense. Thank you, Mario the Viking. Thank you for saying something so brave and yet so true. As we see, Bren is catching up. Like I said, this is neck and neck. And it's actually interesting to see that our first race between Copper and Distracted was very neck and neck in the beginning. And then Bren versus Octo is also very neck and neck. So it'll be interesting to see if there is someone to pull away, kind of like how Copper pulled away in the first race, or if it will continue staying that very tight race.
Right. And I mean, so now... as I said before, they're going through different periods of time, and we got dinosaurs.
Love dinosaurs. What's your favorite dinosaur?
Gotta go T-Rex.
I respect that, I feel like I feel like there's some people who would look down on someone selecting T-Rex, but there's something very special about a giant... Well, I guess they're not lizards anymore, are they? Man, science really does ruin all the fun stuff. So we're seeing... I'm unclear as to what the solution is going on here. We're seeing someone in chat saying that their favorite dinosaur is Yoshi. That is the correct answer. Thank you so much for being so confident and so brave.
and we all know Cassie used that Yoshi appropriately in their race last week.
Oh yeah, which of course I believe the VOD first should be up on either the Twitch channel or the YouTube. So you should go check that out as well if you enjoy Yoshi flavored shenanigans, which I think I also did commentary for now that I think about it. Oh, and we're seeing almost a give up there. So this level is kind of interesting because it's a little bit more, I'll say, vertical than the other level was. It's a little bit more up and down. Like the other ones seem to be these kind of like long scrawling, more like a, basically just like a spaceship, right? Would be from start to finish. Whereas this one is the level design is such as to show you like, oh, it's like a big, expansive outside land.
Sorry, we had a DM from one of our racers. They said they weren't sure what stage they're on. That's okay. We will let them know. Make sure that they don't stop prematurely.
It looks like there might be a little bit of a little sneaky puzzle there that our good boy Mario the Viking could maybe get to. I don't know if you saw that at the same time as I did.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Good old Eric Mario the Viking.
Eric Mario is also my favorite player on the New York Nets. As we continue through, I think that dinosaur is also a Proto Yoshi. I don't know if that's just my brain looking at Nintendo characters and assuming that everyone's a Proto Yoshi. But these little blue dinosaur friends do be chomping. A Proshi, yes, exactly. Thank you so much. What level are we on, out of curiosity, Kia? I don't know if you've been keeping track. I think we're on stage 4.
Yes, this is stage 4.
Wonderful. Just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page, as I'm having a ball with this game. I'm having a ball and a blast, but I will say I am having trouble understanding precisely what the goal is. But that's just true of life. That's pretty standard for good old King Cake. Flying Octopus switching between his Vikings does not miss with his shots. Bren, I was gonna say is a little bit ahead, but actually it's literally dead even. It is literally neck and neck and neck as we go forward with our 3 Viking friends. This game, you might say, is the great equalizer.
I apologize. This is stage 5. Stage 4 was the last one on the spaceship.
Ah, okay, good.
So it looks like they're neck and neck. Literally, they both just finished stage 5, going on to stage 6.
Ooh, in stage 6, they're in Super Ghosts and Goblins. That's right.
Yep, they got into a cave. This level tripped me up for a few tries.
Right.
You know, thinking I was originally supposed to use Eric Mario to fly everywhere, to jump and run around. But the trick here is actually to use Olaf.
Oh, interesting.
Olaf has a shield that he can kind of use as kind of like a hang glider type, paraglider type deal, like Link does.
Right. As we all know, giant wooden shields, and you can try this at home actually. If you have a giant wooden shield handy, you can use it to soar through the air. Ask your parents' permission before participating in anything that I tell you to do. But you can try it. Fun experiment. So you have to use your big shield to fly through the air, and then you get the big meat.
The big meat is just health. Eric can actually get that meat just fine.
Right. Eric has no trouble getting the meat, as we're all very aware.
But they want to use Olaf to kind of glide down through those lava and fire pits.
Oh God, he seems so happy when he does it too. God, there's something so lovely about playing games like this. Everyone's just has a big doofy smile on their face.
I mean, what Vikings don't?
Vikings are canonically a very happy people, I believe. That's true also. If you go into a history test and they ask you if Vikings are a happy people, they just are. Tell them that Sneakbike told you so.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. If the question is Vikings, the answer is yes. So we're seeing a restart from both of our players here. Again, it's interesting to see how close they are, even though, the game is not necessarily the most forthcoming with its instructions or what it wants you to do. So I find it interesting that our gamers are figuring it out at almost the exact same pace.
Yeah, Octo trying to knock down this door with his head.
Which would be ridiculous if that was how things worked. Imagine.
I mean, they do say that Eric the Swift has that his desired birthday present is a football helmet because he wants to bash things with his head.
A football helmet? Maybe this is a stupid question, but I feel like a football helmet would not be better suited for his, we'll call it, hobby of bashing his head into things than the helmet he currently has.
Bren figured it out, gliding down with Olaf, picking up the blue key, and now being able to unlock the door so that the rest of them can move forward.
Oh, you just had to take a trip on your favorite rocket ship. I didn't even think of that. I thought they had it right the first, but I guess you couldn't get Legolas over there to shoot the snail thing. So that makes sense. I am figuring this out in real time. I'll say slower than the racers because the racers are figuring it out, and then I'm kind of piecing it together afterward. I mean,
you could, I suppose, go through it the way Octo is and just dodging everything with Eric.
Just kind of brute forcing his way through it, which I respect. If he eats the big meat, I think he'll be fine though.
And just like that.
Nice. Commentator's curse has never worked this well in all my days as a commentator.
And picking up the shield, and I'm not sure that that they know the shield gives them an extra hit point.
I am in love with the fact that Octo is just zooming. Oh, but he dies to fall damage.
Yep, fall damage.
Curse you, Blizzard, and your fall damage nonsense. Oh, dang, dude. Oh, shoot, friend. That's a shame. That's such a shame. Meanwhile, on Bren's screen, he's solving it the way that the good Lord intended.
Oh, and in chat noting that Bren watched the intro video, so Bren knows the abilities of each of them.
Oh, what a cheater. What a cheating cheater pumpkin eater to watch a tutorial in a sneak bike race. Who does that?
But Octo should have read all of the hints in stage 1 that told them the abilities as well, not just having to watch the intro. So there is that.
See, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I want to say that in theory I agree with you, but I also I'm so positive on my stance that reading is in fact for nerds. So I understand where Octo's coming from. I feel a certain kinship with this racer.
Now these enemies that Bren is coming up to, the ones that are kind of pushing Olaf back a little bit, those were the bane of my existence. When I was trying to decide if I wanted them to continue, if when picking this game,
right?
I hated, having to wait to hit these guys to kill them. You can just, like you said, brute force your way past them. They take a lot of time and patience to kill.
So what was the deal there? Is he just thick?
He's invulnerable while he's rolling.
Okay, so you have to wait for the exact part where he bumps into Olaf's shield then.
Right, and he stays, he only comes out of his roll for just a couple seconds.
Right. It's SNES chicanery, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Right, of course. So Octo is fighting the good fight, staying on the good path, brute forcing it, which nothing but respect for our king.
I mean, but see, now they realize, or they might realize that this is not the correct path for them. But I'm
curious to see if he can do it though, because I feel like this is, while obtuse, is viable.
It is definitely still possible because there is a little, I don't know if you want to call it a shortcut or just a different way around that area. That they just must not be seeing. There's, like you said before, there was a hole in the wall where a couple stages ago that you said Mario could get to. Well, there's another hole in the wall here that actually takes you back a little bit. So Octo's Way is definitely viable. I'm not going to say the best way, but possible.
So it'll be interesting to see if he does try a different way, noting that it is indeed some rough stuff that he is currently going through. It doesn't appear as if he's going to be trying anything different. As we see, Bren is going on to stage 7, I believe.
Yep, Bren on stage 7. This one is pretty tricky as well. You basically have to use Eric to jump all around this level to find a single key.
Oh, that sounds... Hey, can I say that sounds like good, fun game and level design. That's what I'll say about it.
There is an NPC in the top left of this stage that gives you a hint to where the key is. But getting there is pretty tough.
And for anyone curious in chat, that is in fact Gary from SpongeBob. SpongeBob did adopt him from Blizzard's small NPC adoption agency. And we're seeing a give up from Bren, which I agree with. I agree with that course of action. All right, and Octo is grabbing the shield. He's just jibbing and jumping all over the place, all day, all night. Still not quite grasping that it might not be the easiest way to complete this video game.
I think though they may have just seen the blue key that they were searching for.
Right.
So maybe gonna try a different route this time.
Doesn't look like it. I will say it. He is still leading with Mario Eric Lopez. Trying to just keep on trucking, Brother Bear, and I respect that. Octo gonna Octo, abso-fruitly. And again, I respect it. I can't say I wouldn't do the exact same thing. Ooh. Speaking of trucking along, Bren is just trucking along, and we're trucking along here on commentary here for Sneakbike. If, again, quick plug, if anyone here is having a good time, which I would hope you are, we're all just trying to have a good time here on a Sunday afternoon playing some video games with our friends, and you can be one of our good friends too. If you just hit that exclamation point Discord, you can join the Discord, you can sign up for a race, you can sign up to do all kinds of things, even if you're not, maybe you're looking at this and you're like, oh man, oh shoot man, like I don't want to play video games. What if I'm bad at it? Totally chill. We have commentary spots. We have all kinds of different channels for different hobbies and interests. We've got people who like coding, and oh my god, he figured
it out.
Goodness gracious, Glorioski. If that's like, not a great thing, then I don't know what is, man.
Yep, just like that, right back in it.
Right back in it. Oh, and the Balrog comes in to save his good friend Olaf with the shield. This is, you love to see it. And it's moments like that that make me say, God, I am so happy that I ended up here in the Sneakbike extended universe. So join today, exclamation point Discord. As we see, so it looks like he's gonna get the red key here. I zoned out a little bit when they got the red key, so I don't really remember what the red key door was kind of doing. But I'm glad Octo got it.
the red key, ooh.
Oh,
but Olaf taking the death. The red key will drop the bridge just a few feet to the right there.
Oh, right, the lava bridge. Of course. So we're seeing Octo catch up pretty well, and Bren still, it doesn't quite seem like Bren has figured out what he has to do yet. Has figured out how to switch items, which I could not figure out how to do, so that's very good. If Bren can get past this level and get to level 8 before Octo can get past level 6, I have a strong inclination that would put Bren in a pretty heavy lead.
Yeah, Bren is definitely, definitely is on track to taking this one home. But I still have a lot of faith in Octo.
It's anyone's race. Of course, it is very equal at this stage of the race. Oh, goodness.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. He just got decimated.
Just that health was drained so fast.
He just got NES'd harder than I think I've ever seen any individual get NES'd in their life here in this SNES game. Oh, you hate to see it, honestly, because there's no way of knowing that is what's going to happen to you on that day. You know what I mean? You don't just wake up as a Viking, you leave the house, and you're like, I am going to get pixel locked by an armadillo, and I'm going to die.
Pixel locked by an armadillo.
That's the title of my autobiography, if anyone's curious. That's where I'm going to choose to spend the rest of my days.
But I think there were questions in chat onto which levels each of them were on. Bren is on 7. Octo is on 6. Both runners making their way downtown, walking fast.
Walking fast, faces fast, and they are homebound. I will say, of course, the mission today is to beat level 8, and they will be moving on in our SneakBattle Royale bracket. But, of course, the mission, as always, is just to have a heckin' good time with friends, which is, I believe, what's going on today.
Ooh, Bren finding that blue key.
Oh my God.
Unlocking the way forward. Getting ready to move on to level 8.
So it looks like our worst fear might be actually going on right now. It looks like Bren might get to level 8 before Octo gets past level 6, which would be very unfortunate. Looks like Octo's pretty close, though. I think he's unlocked all the doors.
One door left for Octo, but should be pretty trivial here.
Oh no! Oh no!
Olaf getting pushed around down on Bren's.
Olaf getting a little stuffed by our Yoshi, but we got there. All right. Octo with a shield up. Eric Mario Lopez is ready to go. Jump once, jump twice. Good God, good golly, pet wash. Here we go. Oh.
All right. Bren just moving the Vikings to the exit to go on to stage 8. And we'll see if stage 8 is the equalizer.
It very well could be. It felt like stage 6 was the equalizer. And then stage 7 came along. And I don't want to say anything bad about Flying Octopus, so I definitely didn't put all of my Sneakbike points on. I will say I am worried for his chances of catching up at stage 7. Bren making his way through stage 8. Back in the Super Ghosts and Goblins color palette. My favorite part about, I think, old SNES games is that if you look at it on paper, there's like maybe 4 backgrounds probably, I'd assume, for most of this game. And they're supposed to be wildly different locations.
You mean you can't tell that they're in a cave right now?
I can't tell that they're on different levels right now, to be honest with you. If I hadn't been sitting here for the past however long we've been sitting here watching this game, I could not tell you what level either of these gentlemen were on. But that's okay, as Octo making his way downtown, making his way to the exit, taking a bit of damage. Is he gonna
Yeah, he's just trying to bully their way through.
He's just mashing his forehead against it, and we respect that. We love a good tank.
But I don't know that they can do it past this Roly Boy. Oh no.
Oh my God, no. Octo. Oh. Not the Roly Boy. Bren taking a death as well. What an unfortunate turn. Still going at it though, which I respect. Still trucking along.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think now they know exactly what they have to do. It's just a matter of execution.
Right.
They have reached the exit with 2 of their 3 Vikings. They were just trying to tank it. Sometimes patience is a virtue.
Not a virtue that I've ever learned, so I understand very much where Octo's coming from, because you know what? It's a Blizzard game. Blizzard, you need your tanks, you need your mages, probably healers. I think is a thing as well. I am a gamer. So I understand where Octo's mindset, I think, is coming from.
All right, let's see if Bren can figure this next part out. They just kind of jumped over a lava pit there with Eric, but there's there's something else that they have to do back there to get the other two to be able to progress forward.
Right, because you definitely need the Shield Boy and Legolas to deal with that little situation that we just saw there.
So the trick here is actually to have Legolas to shoot those spikes that are on the ceiling, and they will drop down to create a path across the lava.
Oh, man, it's cool. It's really interesting to see the different ways the developers came up with to use what are essentially three pretty basic mechanics. Like, it's a dude who hits things, a dude who stops things, and a dude who jumps things. And then they figured out all these different puzzle solutions to, again, pretty intricate puzzles at some points.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Blizzard. Why don't they just keep making Lost Vikings games instead of more World of Warcraft expansions? That's what I want to know.
Lost Viking expansion?
Ooh, don't even get me excited like that.
Oh, welcome on in, Bears and Beats rating with 17 viewers. Welcome, Raiders.
Welcome, Raiders, to our race here. We have Brennemania versus Flying Octopus in round 1 of our SneakBattle Royale bracket. We have Flying Octopus is currently getting through stage 6. Brennemania is on stage 8. And while you're here, we want to thank Bears and Beats for this lovely overlay we're using today. Shout out, shout out, shout outs. So stage 8 really just seems to be a more complicated version of stage 6, I think is fair to say. Not just in color palette, but also just in all the Mishigas that's going on.
Yeah, it's and that could probably be said with each of these levels, is there's just a little bit more complicated version going forward. And Octo not having to tank this part, making their way through stage 6, moving on to stage 7. Bren just bashing their head against the wall.
Me. So now we're going to see how Octo does on stage 7. Now, Bren spent quite a bit of time on stage 7, which I think is fair, not the most linear of stages.
This one, though, with the way that I know Octo plays their games, this stage might go pretty quick for Octo. They love to rush into games, so they'll take Eric and they'll scout this whole map out.
Right, Eric rushes in.
And they'll find the key, I think, pretty quickly.
I think it is interesting too, like you mentioned, that Octo does rush in. It's interesting to see, you can tell, even without knowing both of these racers, you can tell that Bren is like the more thoughtful, kind of cautious one. He's been taking steps and trying to look at everything as a puzzle, whereas Octo has just been like, head first, I am gonna keep going until this is solved. And if anyone's coming in from that beautiful 17-person raid, thank you again, Bears and Beats, for the raid. If you're enjoying, if this all looks very cool to you, if you're looking at this and you're like, wow, how can I be a part of this? You can hit that exclamation point Discord. You can join in. You can have a fun time. And you can participate in races. You can be a racer. You can do the commentary like we're doing up here right now. You can do all kinds of things. Or you can just hang out. We got all kinds of different Discords. We got gaming. We got Overwatch, if you're into Overwatch. We got Hollow Knight. We got Link to the Past. We got coding. All kinds of fun stuff for you to enjoy and just come in and have a good time in a cool little community.
All right, and Bren bashing their head against the wall again, trying to figure out this area. They just need to switch to Legolas and shoot those spikes.
He's close. You can see. Oh, good flex from the Legolas. I love. I don't know if you're like me. I absolutely love like the idle animations that they come up with for characters.
Oh yeah, it's so fun to watch. I mean, again, not just this game, but yeah, it's so fun to see idle animations play.
Like, it might be my favorite part of any video game is just sitting there and watching like Sonic tap his toes or Legolas hit his Hulk Hogan poses.
Or, like Mario going to sleep in Mario 64.
Oh yes, I love when Mario goes to sleep. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. Oh, and he's found the NPC. Eric the Swift, of course. Do you think Octo read a single word?
I think Octo read like the first two things and then was like, nope, I'm out.
Phenomenal.
Classic Octo.
I would do the exact same thing. I will keep it just a clean $1.99 with you. I would be like, okay, okay, this is nothing. Oh God, that was lovely. That gave me a good chuckle. That did.
This is interesting. I think he's done it. I think
he has.
He's figured out a new route. Octo.
Oh my God, it's neck and neck.
Wow.
That is the most insane. Oh my goodness gracious.
The speed strats. Who needs a blue key?
Who needs keys? Octo's my new hero, man. I'm so glad I bet points on him. Octo is playing the game that the same way that I think I would play the game. In where I would just brute force it until it either worked or someone else won.
All right, now it's all a matter of who figures out they need to shoot those spikes first.
And you know what? I feel pretty good about Octo's chances. Like, I think Octo will definitely, if we looked at the death counter, like Celeste style, and you saw how many deaths were there, I think Octo easily would double to triple the amount that Bren had.
Bren has scoped out this stage pretty well, though. I would not be surprised if they figure it out fairly soon as well.
Mm-hmm. I think like you say, it's very much who figures the one, and I think it happens a lot with puzzle games too, to be fair. It's like who figures out this one very important facet of the puzzle first.
There it is.
Oh my God, it's Octo. Oh my God.
There it is. Octo is now in the lead.
If Octo wins this, I'll feel so justified in trusting him with my hundreds of points. You cannot make this stuff up, folks.
This is crazy.
This is a race. This is the race of the century. I'm glad that both of our races today were incredibly competitive. Like
and going in with a ton of health as well. This is amazing.
I cannot wait for the post-race interviews, personally. They are often my favorite part of doing commentary for Sneakbike, but this one specifically I think is going to be a good time talking about the individuals.
And it's crazy because Bren knows that this lava is tripping him up.
But he's just kind of taking pot shots at the Proto Yoshi, which I also totally understand. It is an abomination. It is against what we stand for, and therefore must die. And I get it. So, how close is he to the exit? Is he close? He must be close.
It's almost right there.
Oh my God! If Octo, with the great, I think probably one of the greatest comebacks in
that is a huge comeback.
I don't think I can think of another comeback that is at the very least not even this. Oh my God, the exit's right there. I am in all my years as a commentator, I don't think I've ever seen something like this happen. Two incredibly close races. As long as Octo doesn't die right at the finish line.
I just want Bren to figure it out.
Me too.
And there it is. There it is.
Oh, and he does figure it out, but it is a bit too late. It's Octo with the comeback of the century.
GG's Octo.
8. Goodness gracious, Glorioski. He's done it. He's a mad lad. He's a crazy boy. Can I get some hype, some pog champs, some claps, some chats? Can I get some ayayas?
That was amazing. I'm gonna quick go hop over into their chat to let them know that that they can pause and hold up. It looks like Octo has already seen my message, but I'll be right back.
Yeah, go right ahead, Brother Bear. Hey, chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us for this race. I hope everyone had as good a time as I had just hanging out and enjoying the games. I am as shocked as you guys are at the outcome of this game. That was probably one of the best races I think I've ever seen here on the channel. And let me tell you, the races only get better. Join us to make sure to join us in the Discord if you feel like you want to participate in any of our Sneakbike stuff. We have plenty more coming up. We got more races on Tuesday with a very incredibly handsome content creator in one of them. I won't say his name, but it's me. So make sure you tune in for that as well as we get geared up for our post-race interviews and touch bases. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is. What is up, gamers?
Let's get everyone unmuted.
There we go.
We're gonna start off with our intermediate racers here. First of all, GG's Octo, GG's Bren. That was such a close race. You guys don't even know. Bren, you were running your head into a wall late there. So what did you think of the game?
I really liked the just the aspect of using the Vikings as teamwork and just switching back and forth and just trying to solve how to get through there. But yeah, that level I was stuck on, like I had no idea about those stalactites until like I guess it must have been right at the end of the race there. But yeah, I mean it was a fun game. I enjoyed it.
Octo, you seem to get stuck on level 6. For a while, but then flew through stages 7 and 8. What did you think about the game?
I did like, as Brent said, I did like the mechanic of having to like use individual characters to solve different aspects of the level and then combining them all in the end. It was a good game overall.
Do either of you think you'll go for the world record? I'm curious.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it by this evening.
Yeah, I mean easily.
You can get top 3 for sure.
Yes, 100%. If both of you finish the game, you will each be in the top 5.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yes. There are only 2 runs.
There are 2 runs.
Oh my!
If you can beat it in less than an hour, world record for free.
Well, maybe. No, I'm not gonna do it. That sounds so bad.
I think that's a common theme that we get in these Sneakbike debriefs. Is it's always like, I think I could go for that world record in this old retro game, and then you sit down for another 5 minutes, and you're like, nah, though, I'm good.
I've got a question. Well, I guess not really a question, maybe a bit of a question for Octo. In stage 7 in the trees, you didn't get the key to open up the bridge. You just hopped across that waterfall.
Yep, I fell and I was like, hey, there's the exit. So I just carried everyone along with me and that was it.
That was an amazing strat and probably what won it for you. Because I think Bren was only about, 90 seconds behind you, about to finish. I think that is what won you the race.
That one strat that I didn't even know was a strat.
Yeah, that one split-second decision.
I saw that key right there, and I was like, I have no idea how to get that. I don't know where the actual key to the lock is. I'm just gonna... And then I fell, and then I was like, okay, that's my strategy.
Well, that NPC that you talked to for about a half a second was the one that was telling you where the key was.
Yeah, I started talking to him, and I was like, he's probably gonna tell me where to get this key, and then I just ignored everything he said.
I like you
in
read
great
the first
Octo
2
fashion.
boxes. You read the first 2 boxes, and then you started skipping. Like, all the useless stuff you read, and then he was like, let me tell you the... And then you just held W the whole way through. Congratulations on winning. That was an inspirational race. I implore you to watch back on the VODs.
I will. I may.
I like the commitment. I like the commitment.
All right. Any last words from either Octo or Bren before we move on to our beginner race or our beginner interviews?
I just wanted to thank everyone for hosting this tournament. Congratulate everyone on being a part of it. Bren, thank you for racing me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
man.
kind of felt,
GG's to you.
honestly, I kind of feel bad that I won because it's like, shit, I feel like this should have gone to someone who actually deserved it.
It did, man. It went to you.
You literally, by definition, deserve it by proxy of winning a race.
Like, the criteria for deserving it have been filled.
Yeah, you
No
physically
doubt.
could not deserve it more than you already do.
Like, if there was a rubric, you can't possibly put anything better than that. So, good luck to you in the next round, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Copper and Distracted. We will start with Copper first. Copper, what did you think of The Adventures of Lolo?
I really enjoyed it. Once you die and figure out what the whole gimmicks with all the monsters are, it becomes really fun to kind of figure out how to trap them all and keep them from coming after you.
Yeah, I remember. I think both of you got stuck on one of the stages for quite a while. It was the one where you would get basically caught in the bottom right corner when everything started to come alive and start chasing you. Try and take me back through that.
I didn't realize, apparently someone in chat told me that there's a way to trap them all, but I knew that the skulls were slightly faster than me. I knew that they kind of tried to follow me. I realized that, like, you could get them stuck in the grass. I just figured out all of these little things about the game and mechanics, but I didn't realize how to trap them all. So I ended up just kind of luring them away from the exit from that area and then just booking it for the chest.
Yeah, I mean that was very skilled in doing that. I mean that's I think the intended strat is to try and trap them as best you can, but to outrun them like that is incredible. GG's.
Inspiring, I will say. I will say the whole time I was watching, and I was just hoping to God that it worked, and you didn't actually have to change the strategy from just full sending it.
Well, it worked.
Distracted, what did you think of The Adventures of Lolo?
It was an interesting game. I might finish it out eventually, because I like puzzle games. But puzzle games under pressure is a little different, which I also really enjoyed. Don't get me wrong. I tried I think 3 different strats for that one level. And after I figured out that I could get the roly-poly in the grass, that is where I got caught in trouble because I didn't realize you could move that one dragon over and block the one skull and the other roly-poly.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, but again, you were right behind Copper, as well. The most of the race I think was spent in that one stage. You guys basically breezed straight through to that stage, got caught on that stage, for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we're starting to fly through the next stages. You both did so well that it was an amazing race to watch. I hope you go back and watch it.
Will do.
And as long as you both had fun, I just want to ask: do you guys think that you would that you want to race again? I know that this is. I don't think it's not either of your first races here with Sneakbike, but did the Adventures of Lolo succeed in making you want to race again?
Yeah, definitely.
Always.
That is what we like to hear.
And thank you both so much for participating in the tournament. Distracted, getting eliminated in this round. I hope you'll maybe decide to commentate with us a little bit later in the tournament. We're asking for any help that we can get for the tournament. And Copper, congratulations, you're moving on to the finals in the beginner bracket to face Sleekbeak. So congratulations on making the finals. We will get your race scheduled coming up pretty soon. Old King Cake, do you have anything else to say to our racers?
Not specifically. I just want to say, honestly, and it's gonna sound like it's a goof and a gaff, but that was a great race to watch. It was neck and neck for almost the entire race. Both of you did so well, and I want to say, as someone who is technically an intermediate racer, you both would have beaten the absolute brakes off me in bracket. So congratulations for your efforts today. Great race.
Thank you.
And with that, we're going to move on to the outro for today's show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure if you enjoyed today, you can join up in the Discord. Make sure you're hitting that follow button, ring that bell to make sure that you know exactly when Sneakbike goes live so you never miss a race. We're going to be back right here Tuesday, April the 20th at 7 p.m. for more intermediate bracket fun. Ghost, Mother, Father, Lion versus Ed Comics, and Pepper Crab versus... nobody important, just Old King Cake, the guy that you're hearing the voice of right now. So if that sounds like fun, make sure you smash that follow button and tell your friends. Just, make sure that everyone has a good time if you had a good time here today.
And don't forget to hop on Wednesday to see Dr. Fuzzy Boots versus Kai Matin.
Yeah, that will be a phenomenal race. If my race stinks up the entire joint, you can always make sure to come back on Wednesday at 3, and you'll have a real race to get your blood pumping. We want to give a big old thank you to all the people who keep the gears running, as we said before. Cause as our producer, and Jen the Human working on socials. Bears for not only the great overlay, but also the raid from earlier. And Dexter and Cowabunga for the cool transition that you've been seeing all day. Very appreciative. And I want to thank my co-commentator Kia, and I want to thank all the racers today for giving us a good old-fashioned romp to have fun with.
Thank you, Old King Cake. It's been my pleasure to commentate alongside you. Can't wait to watch your race on Tuesday. Should be a ton of fun. And with that said, our raid target today is going to be Trip Draws, also known as Trip. They're currently playing Super Mario World, so the intermediate seeding race that we did. So yeah, we're gonna go raid Trip Draws. Grab your raid messages in chat. Thank you all for coming out. We really do appreciate it.
Bye.
Thank you all again, and we will see you on Tuesday for the next set of races. Bye.